Hi, Dr. Alina Koltitsky, Boutique Bodyworks. Today doing a demonstration for Nutrition Pillar of Health, doing a variation on chia pudding. Please check my other video, free on YouTube, about the benefits of chia and how to make that chia pudding. And then today we're doing a variation using coca powder, or cacao powder rather, to not only flavor but also enhance our health, because there's a lot of health benefits from cocoa powder. So when I talk about cocoa powder, I'm talking about cacao powder actually. So this is made from the roasting and fermenting of the cacao fruit, right? And that comes from the tree that is native to the Amazon basin, although now it's in all tropical places in the world, but originally it comes from the Amazon. And it's been used for, long time ago by the Aztecs and Mayan cultures for medicinal purposes. And so they've long understood the properties that it lends. So let's start with just demonstrating once again how to make our chia pudding. Okay, so we've got my glass of choice for eating it, my chia seeds, which are organic. They give us lots of protein and polyphenols and flavonoids, amongst other things. So I'm putting in 4 tablespoons. That is going to automatically give me 10 grams of protein, plant-based, all super healthy. Okay, so we've got 4. Let's, while my tablespoon is dry and clean, add our other things. So I'm now also adding flax, organic flax already ground. There's nothing in it but flax. We're going to put 2 tablespoons, which has 3 grams of protein, 4 grams of dietary fiber. So this is really a high fiber breakfast. And so 2 tablespoons. This is going to, the reason I've started adding flax is the benefits for skin. So it has other benefits, of course, which you may have read about or heard about. But for me, having reached the end of perimenopause, transitioning into menopause, unfortunately suffering from rosacea, right? When you get that skin condition, which is red and inflammatory on your cheeks, and it's very common. I've been talking to lots of women in this age group that goes through perimenopause and menopause who suffer from rosacea and have to treat it with medicated ointments and so on, creams like azelaic acid or steroid creams. Well, I thought let's give ourselves some plant power. Next, I'm going to add in the cacao powder. So it's organic as well. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. So the 2 tablespoons are giving me another gram of protein. And, it does have some fiber, 2 grams. It does have some carbohydrate, 3 grams. But at least most of that carbohydrate is coming from fiber and not from sugars that make your, blood sugar go up. But there's a tiny bit, so just be aware of that. Next, I'm going to add my cinnamon. So a tablespoon, because that gives us lots of antioxidants and helps reduce inflammation in the body. So I have 3 teaspoons or a tablespoon of cinnamon a day. This is actually Ceylon cinnamon, though I'm using a different jar from previous cinnamon to store it in. Okay, so we've got our powder mixture here. Let's stir it up a bit and then we'll add liquid. The other thing I like to use for flavor and natural sweetness, which we get from the cocoa powder and cinnamon as well, is pure vanilla. So let's put about a teaspoon of that in here. And now I'm going to use my almond milk, organic, unsweetened almond milk. Nothing in it except filtered water, organic almonds, and Himalayan pink salt. That's it, just 3 ingredients. Such a good brand. Please avoid processed foods that have all these additives. Always mix up your almond milk because it separates, especially when it's natural like this without carrageenan and all that other junk that they put in to stabilize. Yeah, it's all those other additives and processed foods that in part make it so unhealthy for us, right? So let's avoid that by looking at your ingredient list. So I'm stirring this with just a little bit of liquid first so that I can avoid clumping and big lumps. Also, it just helps the chia seed to start to expand. If you put too much liquid too fast, you're not going to get a good pudding consistency. So that's just a little trick. Add in a little bit of liquid, stir it up really well. That chia starts expanding nicely, and then you can add more liquid shortly after that. Okay, so it went from liquid to now it's turning into kind of a sticky paste, right? It's almost becoming solid, so now I can add more liquid. So I'll keep stirring some in, little at a time. So yeah, cacao is the food of the gods. The word or name for cacao is actually Theobroma cacao, which literally means food of the gods. And so we have come to understand some of its properties. And not only does it have some protein and fiber, it also has lots of antioxidants, lots of polyphenols and flavonols. These are ingredients, chemicals, natural chemicals that are good for us in plants that lend all kinds of health benefits of various kinds. And so it is shown in studies to help us reduce inflammation in our body, to improve brain health, in part because of that anti-inflammatory effect, to improve our reaction to blood sugar and insulin, and so it dampens the reaction, so we actually can improve diabetes and prevent it. Also, in cacao, it is thought to, they did a small study on cyclists and those who ate dark chocolate. It needs to be dark chocolate, not milk chocolate. They benefited by increasing their nitric oxide, therefore utilizing less oxygen. So when you don't have to use as much oxygen, that means greater performance, greater endurance in those long performance type sports, endurance performance sports. So that is another benefit. The theobromine is supposed to help lung function, and actually people who have asthma may benefit from it. However, that is an ingredient that is toxic to dogs and cats. So do make sure your dogs and cats do not get exposed to chocolate or cocoa powder. And it's healthier if it's in this form. We don't want to have the really refined Dutch processed cocoa. It's super refined and you're not going to get as many health benefits. So make sure that it's a more raw form. Even better are the nibs. The nibs, cocoa nibs, are from the seed of the fruit. And so it'll be a little bit more bitter. The raw fruit itself is quite bitter. So it's lower in sugar and even the healthiest version for us, but it's quite bitter. The nibs are a little bit less, and the next healthy choice from cacao, and then the powder, cacao powder, will be your third best choice. And it's a little bit naturally sweeter from the processing, the fermenting of it. Yes, but make sure it's this kind and not the cocoa powder or the Dutch processed cocoa. So I've filled my cup up to this height, so it's got about a cup of almond milk, which gives me also some protein, just a little bit. 2 grams. And then I'm going to let this sit overnight in the fridge. So in the morning, I'm going to add in some other nuts and sunflower seeds, a little bit of goji berries, and then some fresh fruit. I'm going to add either strawberries or blueberries on top. So it's just like my other chia pudding recipe, except we added the cocoa powder and some flaxseed. Flaxseed for the skin to prevent that rosacea, try to help that, and the cocoa powder because all those nice health benefits, and it tastes great. And I don't need to sweeten it. I mean, my palate, I've said many times, is less needing of sugar. I'm more sensitive to it since I've gotten to eat low carb, low sugar. And so I don't need things to taste so sweet. They already taste sweet to me naturally. So for me, this is sweet enough. But if it isn't, then maybe add a little bit of honey. But be careful because that is sugar, or stevia, or monk fruit, or pure maple syrup. Please don't use artificial sweetener. It's just not good for us. It's not good for our brain or our gut. It's going to also not be good for your metabolism. And so there we go. It's nice and thick and ready to go in the fridge. So yeah, like you might be noticing from my videos on plant power, the same usual benefits. Helps lower cholesterol. The bad cholesterol helps lower our blood sugars and help with preventing diabetes. It also helps overall general anti-inflammatory properties in the body, thus lowering our blood pressure because it helps blood vessels to dilate and relax rather than constrict. Good for the brain health and good for the gut health because of the fiber, and anti-cancer because of the antioxidants, so helps us to reduce oxidative stress and prevent some cancers, and for the theobromine for asthmatics and lung function improves. So lots of benefits, and then perhaps enhancing endurance sports, so you have more nitric oxide, making you helping you to not utilize or overuse as much oxygen, reducing your need for oxygen. So those are all the health benefits, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to do the rest of the video to show you adding the rest of the ingredients for this chocolate version of chia pudding, which is delicious. I'm going to pair that with my green smoothie, which is thin like a juice, but is no juice. It's just blended greens. And so look for that video as well, and that's my breakfast. The two together gives me, I counted it, gives me about 27 plants. No, yes, that's right. 17 plants. Sorry, 17 plants. We should be trying to get at least 30 different plants in a day. That includes spices, grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, vegetables, fruits. But yeah, your herbs and spices are included in there. So this recipe is chock full of different plants, and pairing it with my no juice green juice is 17 plants already just in your breakfast. So that's great. You've already over halfway there to getting what you need for the day, for great health and to feel great and have lots of energy to function. That's what it's all about, functioning better and optimal living. Thank you. Bye for now, but stay tuned. I'll be right back tomorrow. Good morning. We're back, and so the chia pudding has set overnight. We've got a nice thick consistency, okay? And we're going to add in our nuts and seeds. So remember that we already have the flax seeds, and we already have chia and all our spices, flavorings, but we need to put in 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds to give us another 10 grams of protein. I just eyeball it because I do this every day and I pretty much got it figured out. And then a tablespoon of raw sunflower seeds. And some walnuts, just about what fits in the palm of my hand. And then we're just going to add blueberries, and that's it. Stir and eat. The blueberries, 1 cup, will add another 2 grams of protein. And so altogether, I have calculated this in advance, we have 32 grams of plant protein. So 3 grams more than just my regular, actually I think it's 33. 4 more grams than the regular chia pudding recipe that I demonstrated on a previous video. So I'm just stirring it. Okay, and now we're going to wash our cup of blueberries. You could use a little colander. I do have one. I'm just lazy. So I use my hands. Now you could wash in baking soda in a sink in advance, and it'll make your blueberries or berries and produce last longer in the fridge. They won't mold quite as quickly. I do have my water on warm, and I'm just kind of rubbing them, rubbing and rinsing. Okay, so I've got my cup of blueberries, and that's it. And we've got our chocolate chia pudding with blueberries for 33 grams of protein. And it's delicious. Unfortunately, the light and the cup doesn't get to show it very well, but you get the idea. Yum, and enjoy. Bon appetit. Thank you, and check out my other videos. Bye for now.